The listing on the babysitting app said, "Easy job, quiet neighborhood, parents home before midnight." Emma had been babysitting since she was 15, and she was 18 now with enough experience to read a job accurately before she showed up. This one looked straightforward. Good neighborhood, decent pay, single child already asleep. She drove out to the address on a Wednesday evening in October 2021. The house was on Weller Road in Plano, Texas, large, set back from the street behind a long driveway, surrounded by old oak trees that made the approach feel longer than it was. The porch light was on. A woman named Christine met her at the door. Christine and her husband David were friendly and clearly eager to get out for the evening. Christine walked Emma through the basics in the practiced way of someone who has done this briefing many times. Snacks in the kitchen. Emergency contacts on the refrigerator. Their cell numbers at the top of the list. Then she pointed to the baby monitor on the hallway table. "Our son is asleep upstairs," she said. "He's a good sleeper. He probably won't wake up. You really just need to keep an eye on the monitor." Emma looked at the screen. A dim room, still and quiet. An empty-looking bed. She said, of course. Christine and David left. The house settled into silence. The first 2 hours were exactly as promised. Emma sat on the living room couch, watched something on her phone, ate a granola bar from the kitchen. The monitor sat beside her, its screen dark and peaceful. The house made the occasional settling sound that old houses make, nothing more. At 11:43, the monitor screen turned on by itself. Not woke from sleep mode, turned on, the image building out of blackness into a clear, sharp picture of the upstairs bedroom. And sitting in the bed, perfectly upright, was a child. Small, dark-haired, hands folded in his lap, sitting with the rigid, deliberate stillness of someone who had chosen that position intentionally. Facing the camera directly, Emma waited for him to move, to rub his eyes, to call out, to do anything a child does when waking from sleep. He just sat there, staring into the lens. She set her phone down and went upstairs. The hallway was dark, except for a small nightlight near the bathroom. She found the right door, pushed it open slowly, and looked inside. The bed was empty, covers undisturbed, pillow smooth. The room had the still, settled quality of a space that hadn't been occupied all evening. Emma stood in the doorway and looked at the empty bed for a long moment. Then she went back downstairs and looked at the monitor. The child was still there. Same position, same direct stare into the camera. She called Christine's number. Voicemail. She called David's. Voicemail. She sent a text. No reply came. She sat on the couch with every light in the living room switched on, and the monitor in both hands, watching a child sit in a bed that had been empty when she checked it 90 seconds ago. Then she heard footsteps. Small and quick, pattering across the ceiling directly above her, moving from one end of the upstairs hallway to the other, and back again. Running, followed by a giggle, light, brief, the particular sound of a child trying and failing to stay quiet during a game. Emma did not go back upstairs. She sat exactly where she was, and looked around the living room the way you do when you need something ordinary to focus on. Family photos on the walls. Christine and David at what looked like a beach vacation. Christine and David at a restaurant. A holiday photo, a formal portrait. She went through every frame. 2 people. Always 2 people. Christine and David at various ages, various places, various occasions. Smiling together in every single photograph. No child, not one image, not a single frame that showed a son anywhere in that house. Emma was still processing that when she heard the front door open at 11:58. Christine and David, home early. She didn't know how to begin the conversation. She showed Christine the monitor. The screen was dark again, perfectly still, showing an empty, undisturbed room. She described what she had seen. The child on the screen. The empty bed. The footsteps, the giggling, the photographs. Christine listened without interrupting. Her expression didn't shift into confusion or disbelief. It shifted into something else, a kind of tired, practiced sadness. "I should have told you before I left," she said quietly. "I'm sorry. Sitters sometimes experience things in this house. I should have warned you." Emma asked her directly. She needed to hear it clearly. Christine told her, "A son named Noah. Years ago. In this house. In that upstairs room. He wasn't there anymore, but sometimes," she said. And her voice was steady the way voices get when someone has spent years learning to live alongside something. "Sometimes he still came back." Emma left without taking her payment. She has never accepted a job on Weller Road again. She's never accepted a job in Plano at all, actually. Some things you experience and move past. Some things you experience and they quietly redraw the edges of what you believe is possible. Noah drew those edges for Emma on a Wednesday night in October, and they have never quite gone back to where they were before.